Okay, hello, and welcome to the A.D.H.Deep-Dive, the show that's not about ADHD, but is filled with proof it exists. My name is David J. Mund. It is 11:30 at night. I am doing a podcast from my hotel room on Mackinac Island at the Grand Hotel. This is the, I believe, third or fourth year that I've been back here doing something with the American Immersion Theater. The first, I can't remember if I went 2 or 3 times as Spider-Man for the Superhero and Princesses weekend. This is the second time that I'm here for a murder mystery. So I've talked about this plenty of times on the podcast, but for the uninitiated, I act with the Murder Mystery Company, which is a subsidiary of the company, the American Immersion Theater. We do murder mysteries, all different types of immersive experiences. Occasionally I'll be hired for photo and video gigs, which has been an awesome blessing to end up doing a lot more lately. And as a note here, just to reiterate, it is 11:30 at night. I thought that I was going to be able to have time to do this earlier in the day. Turns out that is not the case. So I'm doing it tonight because I don't think I'll be able to do it tomorrow. And I do want to get a podcast out while I'm in the thick of the gig. And it'll be nice to just kind of decompress and talk to you guys, familiar ears, outside of the new faces that I'm learning. Okay, so yes, at the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island in Michigan, in between the two peninsulas of the Upper and Lower Peninsula, there exists an island called Mackinac Island, and on that island is a phenomenal, luxurious, massive Grand Hotel. There's a bunch of history that I'm sure would be super fascinating to learn, none of which I really understand or know or feel comfortable pitching to you or telling you about the history of the island or the hotel itself, but just know that it is a big, fancy, extravagant island hotel. And I'm lucky enough to get to act with the Murder Mystery Company for its annual, what's the phrase? It's not biannual, not semi-annual. They do it a couple times a year, a murder mystery event. This year we have about 100 guests. My character is Willie Dewitt. I am a bookie for the Kentucky Derby. So I was walking around taking bets from people on what horse they thought was going to win the Kentucky Derby. Night one was getting to know the characters, learning of the first death, and then starting to cast your blame a little, or cast aspersions? What's the phrase I'm looking for? You start getting suspicious and accusing people, gathering information. So we did the first act where we actually act sort of a theatrical thing. And then we break for dinner where teams and individuals can like speak and talk amongst themselves about what they learned and what they think happened and how was that? That was pretty crazy, right? And then when you come back from dinner, you spend quite a bit of time interacting with the actors and other tables and teams to start interrogating them and asking them questions during investigation time. And it is a 3-day immersive experience. So you check in and register on Friday. We got here Thursday, midday, and then did a rehearsal late night setup last night. And then we have a cool dinner where like the actors get to know each other because many of us don't know each other because there's a bunch of directors and actors coming in from different cities. This is a nationwide business, which again is just something that I'm like, it's crazy that I'm lucky enough to be able to do this thing, especially because there are so many talented people who are a part of it coming from across the country, and I get to be asked to do this multiple times. It's just kind of wild, a surreal experience that I don't fully appreciate until I'm back at home, and then I can take it all in. 1 second, I need a drink of water. Anyway, so the actors kind of get to know each other Thursday night. After we come in, you have to take a ferry from the Lower Peninsula out to this, or I guess you could take one from the Upper Peninsula, but out to the island, Mackinac Island. We go down, we have some dinner, a couple of drinks, if you decide. And then it's an early morning. You go and you have breakfast, then we do another rehearsal in the morning. And then it's off to the races. You get people checked in I don't really know how the registration process goes. I don't know how people end up learning about this thing. It is just a thing that has become an annual event, a multi-times a year event that the American Immersion Theater has a contract with the Grand Hotel to do it multiple times. It goes so unbelievably well. Obviously enough that they'd want to have us back. Um, and yeah, for what it's worth, I think that's pretty much all I can say about this event. I can't really tell you any spoilers about who done it or who didn't done it. Um, but as a participant, you get money that you get to offer to people as bribes. You get to ask a bunch of questions. Some people will come up and ask you questions if they think that you may have learned something from a different character or a different table team. It's a really fun, social, funny at times event. I really like doing the murder mystery stuff. I don't do them as often as I should, which is again why I feel so lucky to be asked to do this thing each year. But yeah, night one is now over. It is Friday night. Tomorrow, Saturday, is the really busy day. That's when we do Act 2 and Act 3. Plenty of investigation times, crime scene rooms. So if you're walking around this hotel, even if you're not part of the murder mystery experience, you see us all in character. So when it's like the superheroes and princesses event, you'll see me as Spider-Man just like running down the hall heading to a particular location. You're like, was that fucking Spider-Man? What the hell? So it's whatever. Immersive theater, I'm learning over the years, is a pretty goddamn cool thing that I was not super familiar with until I moved out here to Grand Rapids. Hang on, I need to check the camera just to make sure that everything's rolling. I cannot see the other side of the camera, so we're just fingers crossed that everything is rolling. I am recording this from my phone, which I don't usually do. I just need to reserve the camera battery for a photo shoot that I'm going to do tomorrow. And I did not bring my charger for my camera, so I got to save the batteries as much as I can. So yeah, night one is over. Day two is the busy, busy, busy day, where it's pretty much go, go, go. And then day three, we reveal who did it. We give out some awards, and then we go home. And then there's a 3 to 4 hour drive home, which is awesome. Guys, it's been a really, really busy and creatively rewarding week. I've been pitching this the last couple episodes, but our show at the Pyramid Scheme with Keep Flying and Save Ferris was on Sunday, and I am still coming down from that. I don't know if it's the most people that we've played to. It was the most packed a room has been at a show that we have played at, with some nationwide incredible bands. Keep Flying is a fucking powerhouse, and they are going to be one of the biggest names in live music within the next year or two, if they're not already. Save Ferris is from the 90s, huge ska band. They were in the movie 10 Things I Hate About You. Anyways, and we got to open up for them at the venue, the Pyramid Scheme in Grand Rapids, which when I was growing up in northern Michigan, and I didn't have very many opportunities to play venues around the state, let alone around the country. Talk about a moving goalpost, but like my goal was one day I will play the Pyramid Scheme. Like I will make it happen. I've never done that before at that point, and here I am now opening up for two badass bands. And this is a moment where I will toot my own horn that I don't get to do. Well, I do often on the show, but for whatever reason I can't accept it, or I feel bad when I'm proud of myself. I'm saying in this moment, I am so proud of how we did. Genuinely, like, if this is the talent level that we peak at, which definitely won't happen, we're going to keep practicing, we're going to keep getting better, which is awesome for us. But if we played this well at every show, I would feel like, in some sense, we made it. Obviously, I have goals and ambitions far beyond the Pyramid Scheme now in Grand Rapids. I have things that I want to do with this band. I have new music that I want to write, that we are writing, that I can't wait to announce, because we've got some cool plans for it. I feel myself losing my voice. I apologize. bad time to do a podcast when I'm literally spending all weekend using my voice and shouting, but I really wanted to get an episode out because there's just so much that I wanted to talk about, namely this pyramid scheme thing. But yeah, I have goals and ambitions beyond what we just did, but I'm so proud of what we did. We played as good as we possibly could to as energetic of a crowd as we could have, full of many of my loved ones. My stepdad came out and saw this band for the first time. He saw us growing up when I was in Live for Tomorrow, when we were kids. And he's always been proud and, happy to see me thrive in whatever capacity. But this was his first time seeing me in, quote unquote, a real band. Not that Live for Tomorrow isn't a real band. Objectively, they're a realer band at this point. But when we were kids, we were nobodies, right? So my stepdad got to see us there. My younger brother, same thing, always knew me in the other band, but never saw me in this act. My baby sister saw me for the first time play music ever, and that was really cool for me. Just to I don't know. I love her very much, and she loves me, and she's very supportive. But it's also very easy to envision a scenario where she comes out to see her older brother play live music, and not that he bombs, but that it's not that good, or she doesn't think it's that good, and that would have been totally fine because it still would have been the inaugural experience. But this felt like the show to invite her to, because I felt it in my bones that we were going to do well. We've been working really hard. The other acts were incredible. She happens to somewhat like this type of music. So it's like, you're finally grown up now. You're 21. You can come to this venue where you can drink at. Yeah. And I just think we did really well. Had friends there. Had Emma there. Had some people come that I host trivia to, which was sort of a wild experience. Yeah, I'm very proud of Midwest Skies right now. We've been working really hard to get where we're at, and I've mentioned this plenty of times on the podcast before. There have been so many contentious times in this band already in just the short 3 or 4 years that I've been in it. And it's cool to see us on the other side of that. Not that we won't have disagreements or creative arguments or whatever. That will happen in the future. But we're all really tight now. I feel like these guys are my brothers. Now, if only we could get Kyle on the podcast. I think he's warming up to it. We've had James on the podcast. I'm going to have James on the podcast again. We've talked about this in the past, that Kyle's not necessarily nervous, and he's not against doing it. He's just a little hesitant at this time. So we'll get him on soon. But anyways, very proud of where we're at, what we're doing, where we're headed. Yes, this felt like a peak experience, but not the peak. This felt like soon, at some point, this could become a new norm. Because I think one of the things I've discussed on plenty of the more recent episodes is the philosophy that I never expect us to be a technically perfect band. We never will be. I don't want to say we never could be, but we likely won't be a technically perfect band, because that's not what we're looking to do. My primary goal is to exceed expectations of the people that came to see me play live. And we did that this time. We delivered. We've been delivering. The last few shows that we've played have been some of our best, where people came to see Midwest Skies, who know the past Midwest Skies, but don't know sort of the changes that have been made in style, genre, display, looks, but technical skill. We joke about this on the drives home from shows. We feel like we're a real band, not just a band that plays shows at bars or venues that allow us. We feel like we're becoming a real band. And what that means is, of course, subjective. Doesn't mean that, we're going to be selling arenas anytime soon, or even playing arenas anytime soon. But to be able to play 2 to 500 seat capacity rooms and not always sell out, but like do well at, we weren't the headlining act. We were the opening act. And it wasn't a sold out show. But the energy was high. The crowd was receptive. Love was in the air. The vibes were right, and that will not always be the case. We're still going to play some dive bars. We're going to play a lot more dive bars than we play venues like this in the future, just because that's how it works. But the goal is, this summer, we are so close to buying a van and doing the damn tour thing, something I have wanted to do since the moment I joined this band that they did a bunch before my time, and haven't done since COVID. So this is going to be a new era of Midwest Skies, proving to people, not just from my hometown, as the typical pop punk emo kid does, not just from my home state, but around the country soon. We're going to be proving to people that we're not just some dopes from Grand Rapids. Like, we're a good band, with 3 talented dudes who want it. That was one of the things that one of the bands told us, is like, who knows if they'll put us on another show or not. We did as well as we could have if they were to ever ask us to be on another show. This is as well as we needed to do for that to happen. But I don't even remember what I was saying. The show that's not about ADHD but is filled with proof it exists. Oh yeah, they told us at the end, we can tell how much you guys want this. And that feels really good, because there is an era of musicianship where, yeah, you kind of want it because it's fun. And, validation is nice. And getting eyeballs on you is nice, and recognition is nice. But it's not just a want anymore. It feels like a deep need. And not like a desperate, okay, if these guys don't have this, they've got nothing. But instead, like, I want this so bad that it feels like it's something, it feels like it's a part of me. And that not without it, I am nothing, but without it, I am not me. And again, I'm really proud of what we're doing here in this band. Yeah, this has been a very rewarding few weeks. And then the last episode featured Christian Fisher of Settle Your Scores and now Concave Notions, the band that I just directed a music video for that has blown the fuck up. Okay, I need a drink, hang on. Of course, now I'm dripping water all over myself. And I guess at this point, I'm losing my voice so much that I should probably wrap up the podcast soon. It's obviously going to be a short one. It's late. I got to go to bed. We've got an early morning. But again, I just wanted to do this podcast. Concave Notions, man. Very proud of them. If you did not listen, a new metal project, not new metal, but a new metal project with Chase Kerrigan, Casey McDaniel, Spencer Ziegler, and Christian Fisher, with the debut music video for Panic Bleed, directed by one David J. Mund. It got featured on Blood, Sweat, and Beers TV, which is a big live stream for upcoming and thriving acts to debut new music. And then they live stream the song, the music video if it's available, and then react to it and talk about it. And they had so much good to say about the music video and the song itself. Of course, I'm proud of the guys for it being a dope song that I genuinely like. But to know that they also liked the music video and had a lot of good stuff to say about the music video is fucking awesome. So the music video came out. Midwest Guys had a dope show. I am on an island doing a murder mystery at a hotel, literally called the Grand Hotel because of its grandeur. And finally, as a bit of information, speaking of being on a remote island, I started putting out Let's Plays on my channel that for whatever reason, the video is just only on YouTube. I'm not putting it out as a podcast or whatever because you have to watch. It's a Let's Play. I'm playing the game Don't Starve, which is a survival game. Tim Burton-esque animations. It's like it brushes up against like spooky themes. It's not horror. It's not a horror game, but it's a survival adventure game. And the video for episode 1 is doing better than most of the videos on my YouTube channel, which is awesome. I think there's just a big interest in that game. It's definitely not the interest in David J. Mund or A.D.H.Deep-Dive Games, a subsidiary of the A.D.H.Deep-Dive podcast. But it's nice to have like a little network building on this podcast channel. So if you're interested in future Let's Play content, the first episode came out this Monday. Episode 1 is called Setting Up Camp, I believe. Setting up a base, establishing a base, something like that. And we're just going to go as long as I can until my character dies or goes insane or whatever. You'll see if you watch episode 1 kind of what the game's all about. It is also multiplayer that I might do with some friends in the future. But I think going forward, these episodes will come out on Thursdays. So this episode is airing Monday. I can't even look at my phone. Okay, today is the 1st or 2nd. Anyways, this episode is out on Monday. The second episode of Don't Starve, the Let's Play, will come out on Thursday of this week. Guys, I physically have nothing left to give. There's plenty more that I want to talk about, that I'm really excited to talk about. But I can't. I have no voice. It's late. It's 11:40. This was a super short podcast, but I had a lot that I wanted to clue you in on, a lot that I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted you to see the hotel room. Behind me is all of my shit. It is a mess in this hotel room. But I wanted to talk to you live from the island, in the hotel, in my hotel room, in the thick of it, right before the busiest day of the weekend. Post-Pyramid Scheme validation show, post-release of Concave Notions, debut single Panic Bleed that I did the music video for, that I'm doing the next music video for, title to be announced. And then just wanted to let you know that the Don't Starve Let's Plays are going to be coming out on Thursdays on the A.D.H.Deep-Dive podcast YouTube channel. I'm exhausted. Thank you guys so much for tuning in every week. I love you very much. Of all the things that I do, yes, I don't do this weekly like I used to do. Sometimes it is every single week. Sometimes I just can't do every week. And I actually don't beat myself up about that, so please don't beat me up about it. I know that you don't. That's why I love doing this. This is a very supportive community. And I appreciate you, and I love you, and I adore you, and I value you. And I get a lot of my personal validation from the community that we're building here, where I get to express myself, and then many of my loved ones reach out and tell me that they liked the episode. So if you watched the Don't Starve episode, let me know what you thought. Next up for Midwest Skies, which I guess is just one more thing I should talk about before I go, May 30th at Turnstiles in Grand Rapids. It's going to be Midwest Skies, Beach Glass, and Smile Darling. The show poster is made by my buddy George Despotis at the Big Bad George on social media. He's been on a bunch of episodes of the podcast. Very dear friend of mine. I love him very much. I think he's extremely talented, and so we had him do the poster for the show. Turns out, for this show, I will also be drumming for Smile Darling. I guess we can announce it here, and if anything changes, I'll let you know. But yeah, Midwest Skies is going to be opening up the show. Come out and check us out. I think the show is at 8. Maybe doors are at 8 and the show's at 9. I'm not 100% sure, but May 30th at Turnstiles in Grand Rapids. It'll be Midwest Skies, then Beach Glass, and then I am filling in as the drummer for Smile Darling. So come check that out. Go to Cat and Crew. It's KATANDCREW.com. Enter the promo code MONDAY. That's MUNDAY for 10% off your first purchase. Guys, I love you. Thank you very much. I'm going to go to sleep, and then I need to immediately edit this podcast when I wake up in the morning so that I can get it processing and going and uploaded for your ears. I love you. Thank you for joining the A.D.H. Deep Dive, the show that's not about ADHD, but is filled with proof it exists. My name is David J. Mund. Again, I love you, and I'll see you next time.